If I knew that doing a PhD would be this difficult, would I have done it? Well, nothing in my entire life prepared me for the difficulty I ran into in this program. And I do understand how challenging academic programs can be, but this one was a completely different ballgame. On one occasion, I was in a meeting with my PhD advisor, and this was in my very first year. She asked me a very simple question. She said, "Esther, how are you?" I broke down into tears. I didn't even realize where the tears came from. Apparently, I've been holding on so much. I was managing a lot of changes, adjustments, all at the same time. And this was the very first semester. I cried so much. I sobbed so terribly. And this was because it was that challenging. But then, when I think of it from a bigger perspective, I see how that doing a PhD lines up with my life's visions and my goals. And so even though I didn't fully understand what it entailed, I was very open to it. Hi, my name is Esther Olonimoyo. I'm a first generation doctoral student from Nigeria. In 2021, I decided to come to the United States to pursue a PhD in chemistry. This journey has marked a significant part of my adult life, and it has been one of ups and downs, setbacks, and major achievements. I decided to share my story, hopefully to inspire you. And if you're looking to do a PhD in the US, I hope this shows you the back end of what it really feels like to do a PhD as an international student. And most importantly, if you are in a process, you're in a journey that's challenging you, I hope this encourages you to go for it. I definitely had misconceptions. The top on my list would be how much this would challenge me. As a bachelor's degree graduate from Nigeria, coming out top of my class, I felt like I could face anything. I didn't think anything was beyond me. I thought I could do anything. But when I got into this program, it challenged me in every way. What would be the most challenging part were the setbacks. In a PhD program, especially when it is research-based, when you have to do research, in many cases, you're dealing with factors that many times are outside of your control. And so this was very challenging. Even though I came in as the smart kid, doing a PhD isn't about being smart. It's not even enough to even have skills. Many times things wouldn't go according to your plan, or you still needed to keep going. So this was my experience. It challenged my abilities in so many ways. I had to step back, rethink, re-strategize, pivot, and keep going in the face of challenges. So I didn't realize how much this would challenge me. So when I thought I got to my limit, my PhD stretched me even further. The second would be how much it would take from me. And when I speak about taking from me, I'm talking about my relational and social side. This was the first time I would be living away from my family for as long as 6 months at a stretch. Living away from my family was way tougher than anything I ever imagined. So many times I cried just from missing them. And so besides missing my family, the intensity and the time demands for a PhD program in the US is so intense that it affects and impacts on your relationships and your friendships. This was the case for me. In fact, I lost friends. Can you imagine that? The friends I had from way back that I couldn't keep up with, communicating with as often, and my relationships just kind of went a direction that I wish it didn't take, but it happened. It pretty much took my social energy and my relationships to some extent from me. The third is how much it would change me. And boy, it's really changed me. Looking back today from where I stand to who I was when I came in, I was very, very crude, unrefined, raw, even though I thought I was smart and all that. But looking back, I've been so equipped with technical skills and knowledge about my area of research and even outside my area of research, learning about interacting with people across cultures and nationalities and race. I've learned, so much more. I've also gained a lot of access to thought leaders and cutting edge technology. This has all culminated into making me better prepared to provide real solutions to world problems. In adapting to a new system, I had to learn how to interact with people from different cultures. Where I was coming from in Nigeria, 98% of the people I interacted with were almost always from my tribe, which is the Yoruba tribe. But this was the first time I had to work closely with, besides Americans, Chinese, Koreans, Mexicans, people from different cultures. So I had to be more culturally intelligent in talking to people. There are things that would be acceptable with some people, but could come off as insensitive with other people. So I had to be more conscious of how I spoke, things I said, how I interacted, because the people you work with form a significant part of the experience. So that was a major part in adapting in this new culture. The second would be food. Food is a part of any culture, is a major part of any culture. And so when I came into the US, American food was a rude shock for me. Very different from what I was used to. Many times I'll be going for events on campus with expectations that lunch would be served, only to get there and realize I couldn't eat what was served. But that happened too many times. After a while, I had to learn to open up my palate a little more and be a little more, adventurous with my food preferences. The third would be the academic system. Now, the academic system in the US is very different from what it is in Nigeria. Something about the system in the US is how it kept me on my toes the entire semester. I had assignments on a week-to-week basis. I had reading assignments. I had quizzes. I had to write papers for different classes every semester, and even in making presentations, it was a lot of demands. It kept me on my toes the entire time, but I think it was good in retrospect. It's interesting and funny things. One very, very interesting thing is mindlessness. I'm in a place, but at the same time, I'm not there. It's crazy. I don't think I ever experienced this before my PhD journey. Practical example, there was one very day I was dressed up, ready to head out of the house, and for some reason I just looked at my feet only to realize that I was wearing different pairs of a footwear. Another time I was making oats. I was not making it, sat down to eat, and I realized that I had salt instead of sugar. Another thing is how I wore different pairs of earrings. Many times I would only realize when I'm out or when I'm back. Another thing is how I now have grey hair on my head. I can't believe it. This was my third day. I was just brushing my hair and I saw one strand of grey. I said, what? What's going on? That's something interesting. I started practicing selective listening. I'll be with my friends and they'll be telling me dates, especially dates and tiny details. I'll just tell you guys, text it to me. Don't tell me dates. I will not remember. It's so bad, but also funny. And it's something that has now become more frequent from this journey. Things really got tough. Number one would be my faith. My faith definitely played a huge role in keeping me going. It's one thing for a person to keep going on a journey. It's another thing to keep going strong. My faith kept me strong despite the challenge of that journey. Too many times, more than I can count, I would be faced with figuring out a solution to a problem, a research question, or I would have data and I many times didn't know where to start from. Many times I just needed to go to the place of prayer and just pray. Many times just praying did not necessarily solve the problem, but it gave me a clear mind to look at the problem again and find the solution. In many other ways, the word of God was my backbone, regulating my mind. One of the most significant challenges that graduate students deal with is depression and anxiety. So many times people are in a situation where they're telling themselves they're not good enough, or they're feeling very overwhelmed from the intensity of the program, and they run into depression. God's word keeps my mind in an healthy state where I could keep going even when the research isn't going well. I learned how to separate the research from myself. The second thing that kept me going were awards and accolades. Specifically, in my third year, I got nominated and selected for the Distinguished Graduate Student Leadership Award for the year 2024.
Esther Olonimoyo.
This award came out of nowhere for me because I didn't know it existed, and I got nominated and invited. Ultimately, so when this came, it stamped such a badge of confidence for me and energized me to keep doing a good work because I could see that my good work was paying off. The third is my community. My community played such a significant role for me. Nobody in grad school should go through grad school without a community. I don't know how you would survive. I met friends here in the United States who became sisters, who were there for me, who could call me on days when things were rough, when I didn't feel like it. Shout out to Chioma, Josephine, Chibonu, and Oluwatife. These girls were like my core for the most part of my program. And even my friends before I came, who were not even in the US. So this is my community before I started this program, in person of Aderisola and Science. These girls, even though they were in the United Kingdom, they kept in touch, and I'm very thankful for my community. Number one is its practical components. Every single thing I was taught in the class was always extended to a practical application. Even my exams weren't merely made to test my theoretical understanding, but those questions were framed to test my ability to apply to real scenarios, which I think is very great. And I love that so much about this system, how that applying what you learned to real world situations made education a lot more effective. The second would be ease of learning. When I say ease of learning, I'm speaking to ease of access to resources that made learning a lot more seamless. Specific resources here would be internet and electricity. These two things are readily available in the US. You have the electricity, you have the internet, and so you are able to explore as much as you can, and you can do things. But back in Nigeria, we do not have these resources. And that sets us back in, besides education and learning, even in research endeavors, it's a significant setback. And I'm looking forward to when we're going to be able to overcome this as a nation and a continent in Africa. I'm really excited to finally be at the end of this PhD program. When I started, the end felt very far, but I'm here today. And I'm very grateful to God, everyone who has contributed to this journey, my advisor, all the people I worked with, my lab members, the students I met, the conference experiences I had. I traveled to so many conferences. I was funded by the graduate school at the University of Maryland. All of these experiences have culminated into a beautiful journey of highs and lows, downtimes and exciting moments. So I'm excited that I'm finally at the end of this journey, and I'm happy to explore what the next phase of my life would look like. If you're looking to doing a PhD program like I did, I hope this story encourages you, and I would recommend that you think quickly about it. Research, if it's something you want to do, then you should do it.